The Northwest Language and Cultural Center has a mission to inspire the awareness of how important intercultural understanding is in our global society now. And we provide innovative resources for people of all ages to learn other languages and to experience the different cultures through primary means. So by actually meeting people from other cultures, by sharing food, by meaningful stories, participating in events together. And this, we believe, nurtures the skills to live and thrive in a global society. Global Cultures Program is one of the vibrant initiatives of the Northwest Language and Cultural Center as we pursue our mission to inspire and nurture intercultural understanding. We wanted to encourage the development of skills in our community that can contribute to a thriving and peaceful global society. And so in 2015, in the Langley Middle School, over the course of 6 weeks, 4 days per week, we presented 5 different cultures to the 6th grade students, 25 of them, wonderful young people. And with the cooperation of their teacher, Jenny Campbell, we did an experiential program basically that exposed the students to these 5 distinct cultures. Japan, Southeastern Africa, Brazil, the Pacific Northwest Native American tribes, and also Scandinavia. We really invited presenters that were native to those cultures or that had very intimate relationship to them.
Can you teach us thank you one more time? Galebuha.
So we feel that through the sharing of these personal stories and experiences, the art activities, the music, the exploration, when we speak of culture, it's not just a horizontal, it's really also vertical, meaning in time.
We presented various rhythms from Cuba, and then their ancestral rhythms in Cuba come from Africa. By the time we were done, we had the whole group up. They were actually clapping 2 rhythms. We were assigning them different parts of the African rhythms and having them hold the rhythms. And it was a very visceral experience for them. They got involved on a body level. But to actually have the experience of the culture and the sound, and in Dorcas's case, the historical information coming from her personal experience, involved the kids in a way they were leaving, and I was discussing with them, was it inspired them about that live experience that was brought to them by your cultural program. And I just believe that that kind of learning is something that will stick with them, because I give great credit to all of our teachers who are out here doing their work and trying to make global citizens and internationally aware citizens out of our students. But I do believe your program is such a great adjunct to that it brings a piece to them. It's almost like a flavor, a taste that can stick with them for life and expand on cultivating their interests in international, cross-cultural experiences.
What I've noticed in my years abroad and living in other cultures and cross-culturally is, regardless of the continent or the place one is living or the culture, how similar the human condition is and how similar living patterns are and just habits of daily life. And I believe that in the Global Culturals program, the opportunities for children who are eager to learn and hungry to learn this sort of similarity can be exposed to other cultures and see that people in other places are not so different from them, that if they're not exposed to other cultures, then the other culture becomes the other, something apart, something separate, and they don't feel an affinity or a bridge. Whereas when they are exposed to the culture, they see that there is no other, that we are one, and through that are able to have a greater sense of compassion and connectedness with the world at large.
I think it's important about learning other different cultures because, people in the world have different visions and have different ways of living their own life, while we just really know ours, and we're just thinking about ours, but we don't really know about the outside of the U.S.
I think it's important to know like about the world, even though like they're different places, it's still like one world.
It helped me realize that it's way different than you would think it is. Like looking at air and everything, we have like usually someone that's from there and tell you how they lived it. It's just way different from the way you would thought it would be. Like the clothes, the food. Like you would think they would have totally something else, just because of the way they seem. People are different, and they are the same as they want to be. So.
That differences enrich us. Differences aren't weird, and differences aren't beneath us. You know, people make people who are different lower status. I think all of these lessons that come from culture and language are really important. What's really wonderful is that right here in Little Langley, the Northwest Language and Cultural Center brings these kinds of experiences to our children, and children of the region brings other children in. And when I participated in the Global Cultures program, it was also great because I was able to bring something I love from afar back to my hometown here in Little Langley. So I loved working with the students. I loved seeing their eyes go wide. I loved them guessing and not knowing. And then they had to, you know, if they guess and don't know, they have to learn. So those are all wonderful things about being in the classroom, and I really thank you for inviting me to participate in the program. The Northwest Language Academy Global Cultures program is so important, especially in these times when the other is everywhere, whether it's refugees or, you know, the fact that people of color are going to be the dominant color in this country, that white people, which was our assumption of who we are now becoming the minority. All of this is so important to open our minds and open the minds of the children to the diversity of ways of seeing and speaking and eating and loving your parents and saying thank you. All of that diversity has to be in us at this point because that's who this country is.
I realized just the enthusiasm, you know, from the kids because they were meeting somebody for the first time from another country who spoke a different language. So through what global culture expansion, you know, is doing, it's fun to see what they will do and things that how they will experience the world. But you know, just planting that seed, I felt like, you know, I did my job in that regard.
Learning about other cultures and so that people like don't judge other people by how they act.
And being able to know other cultures and what they do in their culture so you can respect them.
For me, it's probably learning the different languages because I like that. I like learning other languages. Yeah.
I think it's important because you can connect with people all around the world, and that's communication, so we can connect and commune ideas and stuff.
I would definitely recommend this to everybody. Just knowing about one culture isn't enough. Just, you know, hearing bits and snippets isn't enough. With this program, you dive deeper into a culture. We have people coming from Zimbabwe, eat a lot of food, dance with them. You really get to interact. All the people are just so friendly. It's a really good program.
Josette approached me with the idea of doing a cultural flex period. I was all for it because I've been a traveler all my life. I spent a year in Slovakia, traveled quite a bit in Europe and Southeast Asia, and I love experiencing new cultures. And I figured that the 6th grade students would enjoy that as well. It was a very unique, special experience for them because they got to live it for a short moment. And it's something that takes them out of the textbook, out of the classroom, and it makes it much more meaningful for them. Every day was something different, and every week was a different place. It was absolutely amazing. Just the opportunity for them to not be sitting and moving around and learning different words that went with the movements and hearing the music and sometimes putting on clothes like kimonos. It was a very unique, special experience for them. I believe in global culture, learning as much about each other as we can. I think it's important. I think it's healthy. I was really glad that 22 students had an opportunity to do that. I think can't thank the presenters enough. Again, the Northwest Language Academy, all the volunteers that gave of their time, was able to bring in these presenters, and they did such a nice job putting our short time together. Oh, and that was another thing, kind of working with our crazy schedule. You never knew what you're going to get sometimes with assemblies and whatever, but you guys did fantastic. I would love to continue this opportunity. Again, new 6th graders this year, and I would love to give them an opportunity where they can have a flex period with global cultures, bringing in either the same presenters or new ones, new places. It's a new year. I hope that we can accomplish that as they get older, if the opportunity arises, that they will go out and see and experience the world, and it only makes them a better person.